What's going on, everybody? It is 2:07 p.m. Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. We just got back from the doctors, and both of my kids got shots today, so there is some attitude flowing throughout the house. So if you guys hear them being kind of crabby in the background, I do apologize. That they're sleeping now, so we should be good. If you've been following the channel for a couple weeks now, we've been talking about all these narratives and all the FUD. Elon, did he cause this Bitcoin dump with the environmental thing? You had the grayscale unlock. You got all the miners getting shut down. There's all this really negative stuff, right? Just driving the market down. And we've been talking about how, when the bottom comes in, you got to get to a point where people start giving up. That's kind of been going on. A lot of people have really been like, this is it. Oh my gosh. And like we said, leading up to the end of July, into the early August, there's a lot of events coming place. And you guys know that I've really been adamant about these events being like the perfect catalyst for switching this thing around and just taking right back off. And I still firmly believe that, based on all the technical analysts I follow, all the fundamental guys I follow in the space, all the YouTube channels that I watch, and all the information that I gather. So we're going to jump into that. For those of you who don't know, I took the day off from putting out any videos yesterday, but I did live stream most of this until I had internet problems. I got about 8.5 hours of it live. There was some really interesting stuff. If anybody wants to go catch that, this conversation, which was pretty much, the main thing, it did happen pretty early on. I believe they even have a schedule in here. You can also watch it here, but whatever. So I kind of had my hopes up, like, this is going to be a big thing. Elon's going to say something crazy. What's going to go on? Da-da-da-da-da. And a lot of people feel like it was kind of lackluster. A lot of these other people were kind of boring. It kind of droned on all day long. Everybody was over Zoom calls. I kind of expected, I thought this was going to be like a live thing with some, amped up activity, but it was just a bunch of people on Zoom with some electronic music in between sessions, which wasn't a bad selection, I might say. So they talked about all the environmental stuff. Elon really spoke on it. Everybody seems to be really hopeful that Bitcoin's going to make a great transition as it leaves this mass exodus in China and starts to relocate everywhere, and largely in North America. And then Elon did divulge the news that he personally does hold Bitcoin and was not selling, that Tesla was just not using it for transactions anymore. Not only does he hold Bitcoin, but so does Tesla. He holds it personally, and so does SpaceX, he's now revealed. He's revealed that he himself also holds some Ethereum and Doge, but it is like shadowed entirely by his Bitcoin holdings. It's almost insignificant the way he made it sound. So I thought that was interesting. There's a lot of talk about Ethereum right now, and I was watching a BC Backer's channel earlier, and he was even saying, even though it was kind of lackluster, it really seems like the timing of this event with the timing of these other events, this really wasn't made to wow you or to be some big, oh my gosh, revelation moment. This was simply to sit down and hear it from Elon's mouth and from Jack Dorsey and Cathie Wood and all these people. I'm sorry, I had to take a drink. that yeah, we're not all dumping our Bitcoin. We hold Bitcoin. We're bullish on Bitcoin. We've got other crypto, and we're bullish on all crypto. Yada, 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 yada. And I think they really did achieve that. Another thing that is really starting to happen a lot now is you're really starting to see some of these celebrities come forward. You had Tom Brady was there at the top for a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, there's all this Ethereum talk, right? You got like Mike Tyson, Busta Rhymes. These guys were big at one point in time, but I kind of see a lot of them as D-list celebrities at this point. They're not exactly relevant anymore. I mean, even old Kelso here, he's not really in the limelight as far as his acting career goes. He's got tons of other stuff going on, but that's not what we're getting at. We're just getting at, pure volume of followers and stuff and relevance as far as entertainment goes, because that's who they seem to like to get for marketing this. And I saw this video. Let's check it out real quick. You're gonna like where it goes. It's actually pretty funny.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
What's crypto?
It's digital currency. What's the next one?
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
What's blockchain?
It's like what information's stored on. So like, it's, what information is stored on.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
What's decentralization?
Oh, there's not one person in charge of anything. So it's everybody keeps everybody else in check. So there's not one big like unit or entity to uphold everybody to the same code. It's the people holding each other responsible.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
What's Ethereum?
So Ethereum is a general purpose blockchain. So unlike other blockchains like Bitcoin, for example, that are just designed around one application, so the way that Bitcoin is designed around digital money, Ethereum is an open platform that allows people to build their own applications on top. And anything built on top of Ethereum, it's protected, secured, everything is checked by this entire network of thousands of computers around the world that are protecting and checking every transaction on the blockchain. But because it supports a programming language, developers have this unlimited creativity in what kinds of things that they actually create on Ethereum. So you can use Ethereum to make cryptocurrencies or NFTs or many other kinds of things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did not expect Vitalik to be sitting there, to be honest with you. It caught me off guard. So yeah, the reason why I think that the job might have been well done here with the Bitcoin convention and all this is we come over here and, we were down pretty far. I had the price charts up the entire time I was streaming the event. And just the day before yesterday, we were down here and, Bitcoin's seen an 11 or pretty much a 12% gain in roughly 24 hours, really. I just find that really interesting. You can see it's, here it is on a Fibonacci right here. Kind of popped through. Looks like it's stalling there for a little bit right now, but, we'll see. There's several reasons why I think that, I've been telling you, this thing's going to take back off. You got pretty much the exact same structure going on in Ethereum. It's very similar. Here we are in the total market all cap. It's a total all cap market. Excuse me. It almost looks like you're looking at the same chart over and over again. So it's really, really interesting. And this, like I said before, for those of you who don't know, this is where the I believe it was the 618 to the 786 on the full retracement levels from the full drop here. This is where those would take place, and since those are super reactive as far as sometimes mooning and then sometimes rejecting in a massive way and then rolling over, I have that entire area highlighted, throughout September, and if I need to extend that, I will. Hopefully we get there before then and blast on through. But just in case this pops us back down or something, I will probably take very minor profits and roll some stuff into stable coins just in case. That's not financial advice. It's just something I'm doing to safeguard myself so I can have some capital available in the event of a dip. Doge, he also mentioned, which didn't see nearly as much action. And, for you Doge holders out there, I think the reason why that's the case, oh my God, what is that? That's a glitch. That looks crazy. You just have to think about this, people. Doge has no use. It's never going to have a use. Nobody's really actively developing. I know Elon talks about it, but I'm not buying any of that. Even at where we are now, Doge has seen an 8,000% increase from back there, and if you go up to the top of where it was, it's a 30,000% increase. I mean, for me, I feel like that's pretty tapped out for something that has no real use case anyway. Again, not financial advice. You did see XLM broke out here too as well, which we're going to get into in a minute. There's some news around that. That's basically XRP's little brother, little sister, whatever you want to call it. It's a clone. It's old Jed McCaleb over there. Great to see that. I am a big holder of XLM and XRP. Again, not financial advice, but I always like to be clear with that. And here's XRP too. It's bouncing up out of there. This is one of the support levels that I had marked as we made our way down. And, I think this is, right in this range. We're going to need to punch through that real nice to get back up into this area. But we're going to get into why that's going to happen in the very near future. But before we get into that, something about Casino Coin Nation here. You have Mr. Dave at Mass Adoption has been brought to the casino team as a business development representative. His job will be to onboard new partners, casinos, exchanges, etc. More information coming in the Casino blog Saturday, which I will not be able to cover. I will be at Disney with my kids, guys. You're probably not going to hear much from me at all. I might post some photos or something just because I'm kind of like that, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to get anything out. Depending upon how the article is, maybe I could do a quick summary of it somehow on my phone or something. I don't even know if that works. I've never tried it, but I just wanted to say shout out to him. He has been awesome ever since I started covering Casino Coin. Dave has been really cool about sharing all my stuff or tweeting it, whatever. And he's really been responsible for some of my followers recently, and I appreciate him and everybody at Casino Coin Nation. I don't think there's anybody more deserving to get this position, especially from not, from just coming from a social media standpoint. I actually covered my first Casino Coin video, and I called him a team member because that's how active he was. I thought he was on board, and he informed me that he wasn't. And then that's only been about a month ago, and looks like he got the job. I think that's awesome. So shout out to you, man. Congratulations again. And here he is just shouting out everybody else and saying thank you to the community. So moving on to some other crypto news. JP Morgan has become the first big bank to give retail wealth clients access to cryptocurrency funds. That's right, the guy who said he would fire anyone for dabbling in crypto just gave his wealthiest clients access to crypto. Mr. Jamie Dimon, well played. Crypto bull run coming soon. I hear you, Brad. We're all on board with that. This didn't let me pull the article up because I apparently do not have any more free views or something, so there's that. One thing that I found interesting is that what they will be allowed to invest in will be the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Bitcoin Cash Trust, Ethereum Trust, and Ethereum Classic vehicles. So you can see it's still pretty narrow scope. It's pumping Bitcoin, it's pumping Ethereum. I would keep an eye on that. These two are being talked about a lot right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not going to hold, and I don't hold either one. Again, not financial advice. That's just where I'm sitting, but. Bitwise cryptocurrency index.
The Bitwise 10 index is still up 250% over the last 12 months. It's up more over the last 12 months than the S&P 500 is over the past 8 years. I agree that we're going through a little pause right now. That pause is driven by some uncertainty on how regulations are going to develop over the next 3 to 6 months. But here's the important thing. If the regulators in DC get it right, I think positive regulation could start the next major wave of a crypto bull market. So I do think this is a pause, but I think it's a pause that refreshes, and I'm excited about what comes next.
I figured I would just shut up once I realized it was the video covering this. So yeah, there's that. I agree with that 100%. Regulation, I know a lot of people feel like it's anti-crypto, some of this stuff, and they are going to take a lot of control and freedom from us. It's part of the trade-off, but I think in the end, as long as you're aware of that and you invest accordingly, you're in for a much better life than if you don't. Rothschild Investment Corp more than tripled its Bitcoin commission over the past, or Bitcoin position, over the past quarter, which it did it through the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So everybody's talking about this dump and how this thing was going down. They've been buying it non-stop over there at Grayscale. Non-stop. If the Rothschild Investment Corp more than tripled its position in the quarter through that, no, that's huge. That is a big name, people. I don't have to get into that, I'm sure. That's a big deal. Fidelity releases a report that says the vast majority of institutions will own crypto by 2026. I do agree. It says, according to the survey, 70% of institutional investors intend to buy or invest in digital assets in the near future, with over 90% of them planning to do so by 2026. That was conducted by about 1,100 institutional investors, roughly divided across the U.S., Europe, and Asia. It defined crypto ownership as owning digital assets directly or investing in crypto. So yeah, I think I think that number is probably even a little exaggerated. It's, what are we, 2021, 5 years? I don't know that it takes that long. U.S. patent granted the stablecoin concept backed by government debt. And unlike a fiat currency pegged stablecoin, Yuga Coin intends to be solely pegged to government debt such as bonds and treasury notes. So guys, and this is Avanti Bank, looks like they're involved with that. Or no, she's just talking about it. Okay. So, yeah, they're going to tokenize everything, guys. You just saw Ripple take that huge swing into the tokenization of other assets right in the middle of the lawsuit. They really started pounding that narrative there for a couple weeks. I mean, this is what's coming. It's all going to be tokenized and digitized. It's not going to be, you know, paper backed and all this stuff anymore. You know, we're heading into a whole new world. Breaking news: former president of the European Central Bank has warned that the global financial system requires an orderly transition to a potential changing mix of reserve currencies. And we have talked about how a basket of digital currencies that would sit between all these central banks on the XRP ledger, with XRP as the bridge asset, could solve a lot of those problems. I'm not going to read over this article really, but I will, you know, include it in the description if you guys want to go over it. It is very interesting and worth to read. And then let's just hear this is what Kathy Wood said during the conference. This is a cool clip. It's pretty short. It's 15 seconds. Check it out.
And I really do believe that Bitcoin will be much more environmentally friendly, certainly than traditional gold mining or the traditional financial services sector. In many ways, it already is. And
So yeah, you know, the narrative around Bitcoin, I mean, we were just talking about how terrible it was, all these people. Maybe not so much Jack Dorsey. He's been on the side, and she was kind of quiet there for a little while. But Elon, you know, now everybody's hopeful again. Bitcoin's future is bright. Things are moving fast. You're damn right they are. We got 81 countries now exploring digital currencies. How crazy is that? Don't believe that? It's still true. Shout out to Brad Kimes for that catchphrase. Here's Brian Brooks. It says, well, it's the midweek and no new tokens added to Binance US this week. And according to Brian Brooks, they're to add 3 tokens a week. What tokens are you guys adding this week? Watch this space shortly. There's a lot of stuff coming, man. There is a lot of stuff coming. Where are we at there? I lost my spot. I did see this, which I thought was interesting. I did look it up. Several communication, financial, and transportation software outages reported throughout America. Outages being reported include AT&T, the 911 system, U.S. Bank, Chase Bank, Discover, Capital One, American Express, UPS, and Southwest Airlines amongst some of the biggest. And you can just see going with this list going by here. I mean, there's a lot of people here. It looks like they're having major issues. Sounds like to me they need to get rid of the antiquated framework they got over here and use some new technology. And then somebody was relating it to this. It's down right now as 30 plus other sites. John McAfee's Dead Man Switch is set to release tonight. And if you don't know about that, I'm not going to cover it on my page, but you should Google it. Whether you buy into that type of stuff or not. I'm a big conspiracy theory guy as far as entertainment and just keeping an open mind goes. I always like to, you know, read these things and just process some of the possibilities. I find it really interesting. You should definitely look into this. It can be pretty major if any of that's true. And I'm not going to weigh in on my opinion, but I do think it's all interesting. Stellar XLM, DeFi's experiment with a new type of smart contract. That's pretty cool. Bringing TSS to Stellar. What is Venus? According to a detailed blog post by Script3 Devs, Stellar Network is going to completely onboard a new type of smart contracts. The proposed design utilizes Turing signature servers, or turrets. It significantly reduces transactional pressure on the network as part of a data processed off-chain. Running smart contracts on turrets is much more resource efficient than on Ethereum. On Ethereum and all EVM-compatible blockchains, smart contracts are executed via the entire on-chain virtual machine. The method of operations proposed by Venus therefore allows for the advanced scaling of the Stellar mechanisms. According to the engineers, the implementation of the TSS-based model might have an impressive disruptive effect on blockchain operations on Stellar. DeFi and TSS can completely transform Stellar ecosystem. Do not sleep on Stellar. It is not financial advice, but I'm not going to. Speaking of Stellar, it looks like they are now going to acquire MoneyGram, keeping in mind they were partnered with Ripple, and they said they had an amazing experience using the platform. They terminated the contract due to the SEC lawsuit. So now one has to think, did the SEC also help Stellar? Who knows? I mean, I'm not even necessarily suggesting. I'm just, for thought. Could they have? Is this thing bigger? Jed McCaleb, man, he's got ties to the Federal Reserve on a family level, and we all know he skates by everything unscathed. So who knows? It's something I'm keeping an eye Then I saw this, Tranglo, working on something exciting that is going to transform payments and fintech. Stay tuned. Well, believe me, I will be watching. Tranglo is a huge payments network over there in the Asia sector, and I am excited to see what this is all about. All I see is XRP loading, and that gets me excited. James Roll XRP posted, Visa to acquire cross-border payment fintech Currency Cloud. And what's interesting about that is Currency Cloud announces partnership with Ripple to process cross-border payments using RippleNet. I've included both of these in here as well. But like he says, and this is basically the gist of what I would say, the acquisition comes shortly after Currency Cloud entered a partnership with Ripple, a major cryptocurrency company behind the XRP token. Visa is now to acquire the cross-border payments fintech Currency Cloud. This is a big deal, guys. It's a big deal. Visa, MasterCard, I mean, you see all this stuff. The acquisition of Currency Cloud is another example of Visa executing on our network of network strategy to facilitate global money movement. Consumers and businesses increasingly expect transparency, speed, and simplicity when making or receiving international payments. It's building, man. Cross-border payments that's always been Ripple's thing, what they talk about. And then, this talks about where their partnership was and stuff. It doesn't go into like a ton of detail, but it is. So about Currency Cloud, their technology is unlocking the global economy for payment platforms of the future. Well, their technology is Ripple. So yeah, Currency Cloud has 85 different APIs. Okay, so they have some of their own stuff too. Across 4 modules, collect, convert, pay, and manage. They cover the entire workflow and B2B cross-border payments. They are based in London and regulated in Europe, the US, and Canada, and process more than $50 billion to over 180 countries. They work with banks and fintechs globally, including Starling, Standard Bank, South Africa, and Brookline Bank, as well as partnering with Visa to deliver innovation in travel payments. This thing could start moving real fast, guys. Don't forget, we got court cases coming up, depositions, and maybe a settlement. Who knows? Maybe Brad and Chris get to walk free out of the lawsuit and it goes down to Ripple and they battle that out for a little longer. I don't know, but either way, something's given in that case soon. I really feel that. Vietnamese billionaire Pham Nhat Vuong, I think that's how you say that, I'm sorry if it's not, just announced, my corporation is looking into faster payments and services for our customers, and XRP will help us for faster transactions. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And then here comes Jeremy Hogan referencing the Ripple filed I don't think Ripple filed a letter. I believe that, was it Ripple? No, I think it was the individual defendants. Yes. The individual defendants both had letters saying that the public statements made by the commissioners that the SEC was essentially failing to provide any clarity to market participants. They were essentially saying, well, if 2 members of the same cabinet or office, whatever you want to call it, organization, 2 of the 5 are saying that they think this has been failed. They think that alone, gives them enough ground to have their cases thrown out. And, I agree, man. You have your own organization saying you're wrong. I think that's a big deal, and it doesn't look good. The uglier this thing goes, the more the SEC is going to want it to go away. I think they've been trying to play the long game with Ripple, and I think that's going to start getting old for them soon because, they really got some egg on their face these days. So anyway, the SEC has filed a response to the defenders' letters concerning that public statement made by the other commission, and they have dodged the argument, saying, where does this pleading address the statement and fair notice defense head on? Not once, because the SEC cannot. When you cannot argue the issue, dodge it. I've done this before. Let's keep in mind, Jeremy's been an attorney for a long time. I would guess that Judge Torres is too sharp for this tactic, and I would agree with that. And then I do have the Dropbox here. Here is the letter. I would, they have so much. They're citing cases right now that have hardly anything to do with relevance-wise to what's going on in this case, and it's just mind-blowing. I'll also put this in here. I do suggest if you're an XRP holder that you take the time to read this. So it says, this letter was filed by defendant Ripple Labs together with the individual defendants. Well, let's go, people. Love to see that. You guys can follow me at True Perception 3 on Twitter. It's greatly appreciated. This thing's been growing a little faster than I thought, and I'm super appreciative of that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you got any theories of your own, I'd love to hear them. And check out this live if you want. And really, it's kind of boring. I missed switching the chapter a couple times because dealing with my kids and stuff. So maybe just go to the website and check it out. But Yeah, I will be at Disney this weekend, so I will talk to you guys either probably sometime Monday afternoon, maybe even Monday night. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Stay bullish, and pay attention because I think we are really at the turning point any given day now. Lives are changing. I'm telling you.